Hello friends, my name is Koolio and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're taking a first look impressions video for Last Idea, a new sort of action RPG game by Square-Enix. Now the game did come out last week over in Japan, so I will leave some links down below for anyone that's interested in trying the game out. And I know some of you guys might be saying, you know, Koolio, I don't like playing these foreign games, I don't understand it. But don't worry, this game's actually pretty easy to grasp and understand even if you don't know Japanese. In fact, there's kind of a few amount of UI elements in this game that actually do have English translations behind them, and it's a pretty easy game to get into. So what we're going to do first is actually jump into the combat of the game because it's really interesting, as it does have a sort of action RPG style behind it with these swiping and tapping motions, but with a little bit of like a auto movement behind it. You'll kind of see. So what you do is when you go into one of these areas, you spend some stamina to jump through a certain area. It gives you an idea of what kind of monsters you're going to fight, what kind of items you could potentially get through drops in the chest, as well as premium currency that you can acquire if this is your first time taking on this stage. Now there is a good amount of voice acting and really beautiful music in this game. This is a Square-Enix game, and to be honest, they do a fantastic job with their production value. So we're just going to kind of tap through this a little bit, skip into the story, because obviously I don't understand Japanese. But the main focus of this game is to run through these dungeons, taking down enemies and acquiring chests that are filled with loot. So basically here is my archer on the very, with my main character that I've actually customized at the beginning. And then I'm going to swipe across the screen, activating one of her abilities. Now you can see the abilities I've got on the very bottom. However, I don't have all of my abilities unlocked just yet because you can actually kind of dual class in this game. There's 4 classes, like a sword, mage, summoner, and an archer. You can actually kind of mix and match like their abilities and stuff as you play through the game, and you can have those abilities attached to specific actions such as swiping, double tapping to fire an ability. You can even hold down an area and activate certain special abilities and things like that. But basically any kind of action, tapping, swiping, whatever that you do on the screen is associated to your abilities down at the bottom. Now you can actually assign the abilities to different things, such as my main first ability where I send out like a volley of arrows. I can either have it swipe or I can double tap on the screen, but you can see how it actually kind of changes the way that the skill works. That's the same with pretty much all of the skills in the game. The skills can kind of change depending on what kind of motion that you use to activate it. So I've got a swipe ability where you go, you know, clockwise and activate it. I can do the same thing by holding it down like this and then firing it off that way. It is on cooldown, so I wasn't able to do it that time. And then also you can actually tap the screen and you can make your character move where you want them to. If you don't, they'll actually just kind of stay in place. You actually have to pay attention to what's going on. So that's why it's kind of like an auto combat sequence where the game itself will actually kind of take over moving your characters for you, moving from stage to stage. But if you don't move your character, they will kind of just stand there. But they do like a basic auto attack to enemies that kind of come near it. So what I'm going to do is, we just finished this stage. I'm going to jump into one more real quick. I'm going to go ahead and skip through the story to give you guys a little bit more example of what gameplay looks like in this game. Now when you go through a stage, you are ranked on how good you do. You do get experience, you get chests that you can collect through that stages, and an overall score. So we're going to go ahead to the next one. And I got 3 new equipment pieces in this game. And I do have to say, this game has one of the most interesting summoning systems I've ever seen in a gacha game. And this does have gacha elements in it. Now, I told you I was going to jump in and show you some gameplay mechanics. Well, we're actually going to do that at the exact same time as doing a summon, because it's really interesting. So if we go ahead and actually tap down here on the very bottom right, that's kind of like our gate system. Now, this gate system, they unlock specific gates depending on what day it is, and you can actually use premium crystals or currencies and stuff like that to be able to enter into these special dungeons. Now, when you enter into these dungeons, you have a extremely high chance of getting some really epic loot. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, is it possible to actually fail a mission? Yes, you can. However, if you go through one of these missions and you fail it, you will actually still get stuff, just not as good. So it is a gacha system in the sense that you're spending your premium currencies to try to get better equipment. However, rather than just basically summoning them, you're playing through a dungeon to acquire the best materials that you possibly can. So it looks like I've actually got a free entrance right here. You do get free entrances every once in a while. I believe it's like daily, and then you'll go ahead and actually spend premium currencies going forward from there. So I do like the fact that you can get some pretty dang good loot simply by coming over to these stages and taking them on. And they're not super hard. They're not that difficult. I did fail one of them at first, but I think I just wasn't leveled up enough to be able to actually take on that dungeon. But literally I swapped out a few, new pieces of equipment here and there, and then I was totally fine to just kind of go through and take that dungeon on just a little bit later. So we're going to go through, activate some of our abilities, taking these enemies down. Looks like there's a slime right in front of us. There are bosses and stuff that you can come across, and I have to say some of the boss mechanics are really, really intense in this game. Especially through like the story, and I don't want to give anything too much away for anyone that wants to like actually play through and experience this game. But there is a boss area. Oh, you know what? There is a golden goblin up there. If we can actually kill that golden goblin, we will get some really. Dang it! I think it got away. You can get some really epic rewards if you're able to kill that goblin, and I totally missed it because I was recording the video. So dang it, that makes me really sad. But okay, that's fine. Looks like we already got a chest back there. You saw it was kind of glowing gold. But talking about the story itself, there is a pretty good amount of story in the game. Like I said, I don't actually understand the story completely, but there is a boss stage that you'll come across that was a lot of fun, and I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but it was really a blast. Like, this game actually surprised me. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Not only the gameplay aspect and hunting for treasure, but also like the character advancement and the equipment item and customization that you can do in this game. So I leveled up. I will go through character progression just a little bit, but look, it's treasure time. So you can see all the treasure that we acquired through that gacha summoning. So let's see, we got a couple of basic gear right there that we're probably going to use for fodder. And then we got some nice 3-star gloves, some 3-star pants, and a 3-star gloves as well. Or was that boots? The first one? I think no, they both were gloves. And then finally we've got this, which is going to be a 4-star chest piece, which is really cool. So with the whole summoning system in this game, so far, like once I've run through one of these dungeons, if I do good, I basically can get like a 4-star item. And you also saw too, like as you play through the game, there are story areas and dungeons. I'm pretty sure like almost every single one has a pretty low chance at actually dropping a 5-star. So even if you don't want to spend your premium currencies by going through these daily dungeons and stuff like that, you can at least get them through just the basic story mode itself. So now that we've gotten some new equipment, let's go ahead and actually talk about character progression. Now there is there's like 3 different tiers of character progression. You've got your skills over here, which you can basically go through and you can swap them in and out, like I said before, deciding which one of these skills that you're going to use for what kind of actions. Then you've got kind of this skill tree system right here. Now every time that you level up, you get 1 skill point that you can distribute into the skill tree. I'm actually just going to go ahead and use it onto my basic attack right here. Let's go ahead and increase that. Now it's at level 4. Once I get to level 15, I'll actually be able to unlock my second skill tree, which you'll be able to pick one of the other 3. And then the final part, my favorite part about this game, is the character customization. Now, the character models in this game look absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful game. Now, not only can you go through and actually equip whatever your best item is for that specific character, but let's say you actually don't like the look of that item, you can actually go ahead and click on that blue bar right there, kind of like just down below my character. You can see I'm kind of tapping right there. Just below that, you can actually go through and decide which cosmetic item that you want equipped onto your character to have that kind of style. So if I actually go and click on this and be like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and I don't want to use that. And so that's kind of the armor that my character is currently wearing right here. But let's say I'm not like the biggest fan of that. Maybe we can go and check out the new equipment item that I just barely received, this one right here. We're going to use that as my cosmetic item instead. Still not my favorite. Let's go ahead and actually go back to the one that was my personal favorite. This one right here with that really cool bow. But maybe I want to swap the bow out. Maybe I'm not a big fan of how that bow looks. So we can go over to the weapons. Maybe I like this 3-star bow right here. It's got kind of a blue aesthetic, so it kind of fits my character overall. So I really like that, and you don't miss out on any stats at all, and it's absolutely fantastic. And then you can go through, and I don't have my second item right there, which you will get once you've unlocked the other classes, but you can actually go through and equip different items. You can tell which items are better than others because the stats will go green. So you can see that one says like 280, that's actually for defense, and the one above that is for attack. So it kind of gives you a basic idea of how you kind of want to customize your character. Now obviously different items and clothing do have different stats beyond that, but it does give you kind of a good basic idea if you don't understand Japanese, basically how to equip some of these items. So I've been really enjoying this game, and I do recommend for anyone that wants to give it a try. It is a pretty easy game to get into even though you don't know Japanese. I've been personally enjoying the game a whole ton. I've been having an absolute blast playing it, and it has been a lot of fun. Now, I do want to share a couple last little things here. The game does give you some premium currency here and there, which is fantastic. You get it from leveling up, you get it from completing daily quests and all that kind of stuff. I've got some achievements right here that I can go through and actually unlock. It looks like I've actually got a whole bunch of them. So you can go ahead and collect a whole bunch of these as well. Now, one thing I don't fully understand just yet in the game, and I'll have to maybe do some more research on it if I decide to make some more videos behind this game, is the forging system. So we'll go ahead and head on back real quick. You've got this main open area place where it's kind of like a camp. You can actually see other people's characters kind of show up here. If you kind of hang out for a bit, you can see there's a lady sitting there there's two people now kind of chilling out. But if I click on this forge system on the very back, you can actually use materials to craft new weapons. So let's say I wanted to get like a new bow. If I've got the crystals right there that you can get through kind of smelting down the equipment that you don't want, kind of selling it to the merchant, he'll actually give you these crystals that you can use to then craft these new weapons. But you can see if I actually go back, that bow, which is like now in the center, it says the attack is a 6 and the defense is 290. I don't know why it's so low. The only thing I can think of is that if you equip an item that your character doesn't meet the requirements for, since this is a level 20 bow and I'm a level like 11 character, the full stats aren't completely unlocked. I'm not 100% sure on exactly how that works, but I figured I'd let some of you guys know. But it is pretty great because you can go through, you can craft all these items. Even if you don't want to use them, you can at least use their cosmetics. It is really, really fun. So there you go, guys. That is my first impressions for the last idea. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date in the latest in mobile gaming. All right, friends, I'll see you next time.